tail of the tape, and the most significant number we have talked about a couple of times already, and that is the weight of Tim Witherspoon, 7 pounds more than Bruno. Let's hear the introductions.
Welcome you to Wembley for the main event of the evening. And this is a contest of 15 rounds, 3 minutes each round, to decide the heavyweight championship of the world. Presenting from Philadelphia, the champion, Tim Witherspoon. London, the challenger, Brit Bruno.
Bruno is magnificently muscled, probably the best body on a heavyweight since Ken Norton.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, at the weigh-in today at the Odeon Leicester Square, Witherspoon scaled 16 stone, 10 pounds, 12 ounces, or 235 pounds. Bruno scaled 16 stone, 3 pounds, 15 ounces, or 228 pounds. The officials appointed by the World Boxing Association are your referee, Mr. Isidro Rodriguez of Venezuela, your judges, Mr. Carlos Sucre of Venezuela, Mr. Takeshi Shimakawa of Japan, Mr. Marco Torres of Panama, and your timekeeper is Mr. Tommy Rice of the United Kingdom. Thank you.
Well, one significant factor is that Frank Bruno has now been in the ring 21 minutes.
I'm expecting an early night.
Well, I think the first thing in any fight, and especially in a heavyweight fight, is which fighter can take the other fighter's punch best. Bruno is the harder puncher, but Witherspoon is a very clever boxer as he moves in, and he's never been knocked down. So, in fact, even if Witherspoon isn't a devastating puncher, his punch landing on Bruno's jaw may be more devastating.
Here's a look at the rules. 3 judges will score the fight, 10-point must system. 3 knockdown rule is in effect, a mandatory standing 8 count. You can be saved by the bell only in the final round, and the ring doctor, in this case, cannot stop the fight. So what's left then is the fight.
I think that Bruno will try to establish his jab. He may feel that the longer the fight goes, the better off he is, given Witherspoon's weight. But Witherspoon knows how to go the distance.
Witherspoon told us he was going to jump on him early, talk to him as much as he could, try to confuse him, try to hook him with the right hand as much as he can in the early rounds. Now we'll see if he does it.
He's going to be more effective inside Witherspoon will, because he gets his punches in a lot sharper, a lot cleaner, whereas that Bruno relies upon getting that straight right hand in.
Right. I think a key here is whether Bruno's left is meaningful.
Round 1, there was the right hand right off the bat by Witherspoon.
What Witherspoon claims, he's going to stay close to Bruno, not allow him to try to measure him with his jab. Here we see Witherspoon using his jab a lot more, trying to stay close to Bruno, not give Bruno that punching room he needs. If you notice, in all Bruno's knockouts, it's always been from the outside. He's never been able to stop an opponent with inside punching.
Bruno uses his jab only to set up his right hand. It's not a particularly effective jab. It's a busy jab, but it's not a weapon.
Witherspoon, being a former football player, uses his shoulders very well, Barry. I like what he does inside. He covers up, he blocks that chin. He comes across with a looping right hand. You'll notice after he lands a couple, he'll continue to do that until he works his man's body.
Witherspoon fighting effectively inside here. That's what he did with Tony Tubbs, and for all intent, he shut Tubbs down.
Inside, you notice inside the way that Witherspoon is able to execute his punches. A lot sharper, a lot cleaner. Whereas at Bruno, his punches are somewhat telegraphed because he can't get the leverage.
That was the Bruno right hand to the top of the head. And you've said that he can do damage to the top of the head.
I'm really impressed with the fact that Bruno was able to hurt a man by hitting him on the top of the head. He had so much power, so much physical strength. Bruno relies a great deal on his right hand. There's that right hand with the Witherspoon's trying to land, but he started for a while, started telegraphing.
And the right hand is getting in. Witherspoon shrugs his shoulders, said it didn't do nothing. That usually means it hurt.
Bruno has improved through the course of his fighting because he keeps his hands higher, a little bit more mobility upstairs, more body movement, upper body movement. There's the right hand again, Barry. It's not going to land because he's trying to load up. Witherspoon was trying to load up with one punch. That weight, I honestly feel, is a factor here.
I thought Bruno handled himself well that round. He looked poised and composed. He didn't try to rush himself. There's no doubt that Witherspoon doesn't think much of his opponent. That's why he weighs what he does. But what if he's wrong?
He was a nice left hook there on the inside. And you hurt him a little bit there, that left hook, okay?
We want to remind you that in the second round, we're going to eavesdrop on our British counterparts from ITV, and the man you heard talk about Frank Bruno, Reg Guttridge. He'll be telling you about the second round. We'll hear how the British do it for the British. Also want to remind you that we have our own official, unofficial judge, Harold Letterman, standing by, and he will give us his scorecard from time to time through this fight just to try to get a barometer. Let's listen to the ITV and Reg Guttridge.
Into this second round then. Very surprised and pleased too for Bruno that he's fighting inside like that, Jim, fighting well.
Yeah, this is a good start with Bruno. I know Bruno's camp reckon that Bruno's jab is going to trouble Witherspoon, and already he's sticking the jab out with plenty of power behind it. Witherspoon is a lot more dangerous than Bruno inside, as you can see here. If Frank can keep it at long range, unload some of the bombs, we'll all get what we're hoping for.
He might look like a bit of a podgy man there, Witherspoon, but I tell you, he really is durable. And he stays 15 rounds like he really does. Marathon runner. But whether he's treated Bruno too lightly, we're now going to find out, because this is sharp stuff from Bruno. That quick win over Jerry Katsir certainly has given him some marvellous confidence. But he's having to take some raps around the head nonetheless. It's not all going his way. trying to throw the full power in with every punch, Bruno. That's smart. He can just rattle a few in to keep Witherspoon occupied while he's working out what he's going to do with the harder shots. Bruno's manager, Terry Lawless, is always saying the opposition's face changes when they feel Bruno's left jab, Jim. Do you think that's happened or not here? I don't really think we can judge that, can we?
Well, it's early days. You have to remember that the big difference at this stage is that Witherspoon has been here before. This is the first time Bruno's boxed at this level. Now, Witherspoon knows he's good over the distance. He knows he has a good chin, so he's not in any hurry. Bruno needs a good start. Therefore, this is probably Bruno's best work he's putting out at this stage because he wants that good start. But at all times, Witherspoon's going to be dangerous.
Well, the crowd rising to that as Witherspoon kind of floundered across the ring a bit. He was caught off balance, but he was caught nonetheless.
Peculiar sort of a fight that Witherspoon is waging so far. He's trying to land a big punch to test the chin of Bruno, and he is whiffing. It's as though he's hitting against Gooden or Clemens.
Just want to insert very quickly that the other voice you heard on the ITV broadcast was that of Jim Watt, former lightweight champion.
Here's a replay. Bruno to our back. A quick right hand. A left that was blocked by Witherspoon. Witherspoon is just pawing at him, using that left hand to keep him off. Not doing a whole lot with it. But you saw in that quick right hand the potential danger that this British fighter has.
So we come to the third round, and Witherspoon, and this has also been his history, breathing through his mouth. But I've seen him do that this early and go 15 strong rounds.
Well, I noticed that Bruno has been working the body of Tim Witherspoon. He's going where the weight is. He's trying to slow his man down. I see a problem in Bruno as he moves back. He's straight up. And again, that right hand of Witherspoon could possibly land. Good body shot by Tim Witherspoon. Inside, Bruno has to keep those hands high.
Tim Witherspoon, remember, has never been off his feet.
Tim has better movement. I've seen him move a lot better, a lot quicker. Here he's relying on just strength and experience.
With all three of those.
He's trying to load up, Barry. Tim's looking for that one big punch, trying to hurt his man. Good right hand there. Trying to hurt his man, and then jump on top of him. For what little experience Bruno possesses, one thing about him, he keeps that jab working. He keeps it in his man's face.
And the cleaner shots coming from the fists of Frank Bruno.
Now this is when Bruno has to be careful. You notice, Barry, every time he stops punching, Witherspoon retaliates.
Witherspoon doesn't look particularly shaken at all, even though the crowd has really risen to it.
wicked body shots thrown by Witherspoon. They will slow Bruno down.
Every time you're trying to stick the jab, you're stopping him.
And Harold Letterman, how have you got the things scored so far?
Well, Larry, I've got Frank Bruno ahead by 1 round. I gave the first round to Timmy Witherspoon in a feeling out round, which was very, very close. But then Frank Bruno started to take control, and he's been backing up Timmy Witherspoon and landing nice quick combinations, and as you called it, a nice crisp left jab. So I've got Frank Bruno winning the second and the third round, Timmy Witherspoon winning the first.
I have a little bit of a disagreement with you, Harold. I have Bruno winning the first 3 rounds. I don't see what Witherspoon is trying to do. He doesn't seem to have a plan. He's not really pressing Bruno, not using his supposed advantage inside by staying on top of him. I'm not sure what his plan is, Ray.
Well, so far, I'm sure he just relied on strength, because normally you see a lot crisper punches thrown by Witherspoon. Witherspoon is also a better inside fighter than what he's shown today. I'm somewhat surprised by the way he's been throwing those shots, those telegraphing right hands. And he's allowing Bruno to get his punches off and steal around.
In Bruno's corner, they were encouraging him to keep jabbing, to get that jab in, that when he did, he was being effective. Incidentally, we should point out that those of you used to watching HBO's coverage of boxing here might be used to seeing a few more close-up shots, a few more different angles, but we have not had the red carpet rolled out to us here.
It seemed like Witherspoon was hurt for a second. A left hook.
He does seem to be a little bit on wobbly legs here.
He wobbled for a second there, Timmons.
And he's still not too solid.
Come on, Tim! Come on, baby!
To conclude that thought, our ringside cameras have been ordered off the ring apron, so what you see is pretty much what we get.
That was a short left hook thrown by Frank Bruno, and it seemed to have buckled the knees of Witherspoon. Witherspoon backed off, didn't throw any punches.
There was a right hand, and Witherspoon covered up.
Bruno has knocked a lot of guys out by hitting him on the side of the head, on the forehead. And that shows how much power he possesses. He's keeping those hands up when Witherspoon counters with his left hook. Bruno is going to school here, and he's been a very good student at this point here.
Good uppercut. You saw him set up Anders Ekberg for the knockout with an uppercut.
Also, Witherspoon is starting to reach in with his punches. Hands are starting to drop. Good indication of fatigue. The weight that was a good combination. Didn't do too much damage to Bruno. Bruno comes back with his own combination.
And another uppercut.
I was expecting Witherspoon to be effective inside, but Bruno seems to be doing a pretty good job here.
Another busy round for the challenger.
On the jab.
Another listless round for the champion.
Relax, relax. Breathe, get your breath. Relax, relax. Be careful on them ropes.
This is very important. Yeah. Just hang in there with your teeth.
Yeah, this way.
Go on. Let's get those up here.
Breathe. Stick in the throat. I hope you're not into it. All right? Yep, you want to ease there. Don't waste it. Now
smart and thinking, right? You don't want to do that on the ropes. Stick the jab. When he calls you on, that's what he wants you to do. He's looking to suck it.
Come on, Tim. Come on, baby. Push, baby. Got too much hype for him now, Timmy. Okay. You're the champ, baby. Come on now. Come on, Tim. Come on, baby.
Already you're starting to hear some anxiety in the Witherspoon camp.
You have to wonder also whether or not Timmy's now starting to show more respect for Frank Bruno and the anxieties that are in his corner. Quite naturally, his corner is somewhat concerned because they see that Bruno is still in the rounds.
And showing a good ability to come over the top with the right hand. He did it just a moment ago again.
He's showing poise. He's showing composure. He's really taking his time and being a professional fighter in here. Bruno is showing more experience than he possesses. You also have to wonder whether or not Bruno can maintain this tempo, this pace. Witherspoon can because of experience. He knows how to take a breather every now and then. But whether or not Bruno can maintain this, we'll be able to see that as the rounds go by.
Witherspoon did back him off that time with the left hand. Bruno, remember, has not gone past 10 rounds.
But Bruno is not wasting any energy, any punches. He's right in front of his man, and he just slipping and sliding. And throwing 3, 4, 5 punch combinations. Keeping that jab consistent. He's doing, Barry, what Witherspoon has allowed him to do.
Another thing impressive about Frank Bruno is his corner. Very calm, one man talking, Terry Lawless, and that's it.
Well, the fight is going as they expected. Bruno is actually dominating and controlling the fight, which is, I'm sure, is a surprise to the Witherspoon camp. And I have to say, a lot more about that weight. I think it's becoming a factor because Witherspoon is not getting his punches off with the snap.
Punches from Bruno, but effective punches, and the crowd chants.
Witherspoon still drilling those shots to the body, trying to bring the hands of Frank Bruno down. And those shots hurt. Now this is when Bruno should not try to exchange punch for punch with Witherspoon. He should continue to do what he's doing now.
Well, for the most part, Tim Witherspoon is floating like a butterball and stinging like rye crisp here. He's throwing a lot of stuff and punching the air more than his opponent.
Timmy, when you throw that right hand down to his side, Timmy, take the left hook over on top, okay? You hit him with that right hand behind the arm, all right? And then turn the left hook over there, okay?
And here's our punch stat cumulative look at the fight. Tim Witherspoon in 5 rounds thrown 264 punches and landed, if you can say that, 81. Bruno has been more active with 311 punches, and he has landed more often with 101.
And now Bruno goes downstairs. Little blood from the nose of Frank Bruno.
Instead, again, moving back, dropping that left hand. And I think he's asked for trouble in doing so. But also, with the fact that Witherspoon's punches have not been that sharp. He's not too concerned about it.
Neither man too sharp in this round, actually. The 6th. That was a right hand by Witherspoon. Another wild right hand.
You see the combination thrown by Bruno, whereas that Witherspoon is relying upon one punch, just trying to load up too much. Fighters have a tendency to make a somewhat of an easy fight tough for them because of their conditioning.
And again, Witherspoon seemed to get Bruno opened up, but is just unable to connect.
Well, he's throwing a lot of body shots. Witherspoon throwing some devastating shots to the body, and he's trying to make Bruno exchange punch for punch. Because again, normally inside, Witherspoon has proven to be a far more effective fighter.
Bruno also, Ray, seems to throw almost a backhanded jab. We mentioned earlier, it's not really a weapon. It's just kind of bothersome.
It's just something to keep his man thinking and set his man up for the right hand, which is his big punch. But Timmy is actually giving away rounds.
Maybe Tim Witherspoon won that round. After a while, after one fighter wins all the rounds, you tend to look for reasons to give the other fighter the round, and so we'll give Witherspoon the benefit of the doubt there. And Harold Letterman, your card, and explain, please.
Well, Larry, I agree with you in the 6th round. I think Timmy Witherspoon pulled it out with his big right hands. As Ray said, Timmy Witherspoon tends to be loading up with the right hand. He's looking to take Frank Bruno out with one big right hand. And I have it 4 rounds to 2 in favor of Bruno, who's using a crisp left jab. He's more effective with the left jab. He's landing more punches, and that's why I have Frank Bruno ahead. I think that his crisp left jab is winning him the round.
Witherspoon is a blend of flab and fortitude. As fat as he is, he's still trying hard.
He always gives that appearance, as a matter of fact, that he's just about to drop with the next step. And he manages to go 15 tough rounds, and he manages to win.
Good left hook by Frank Bruno. It's quite impressive that this big man is throwing combinations the way he's doing. He's executing his punches very well.
What a wild, winging right hand by Witherspoon.
That is not the Tim Witherspoon that I've seen in the past. You know, I stated earlier, Barry, that this weight is making the fight a lot easier for Frank Bruno.
There's a little swelling under the left eye of Tim Witherspoon.
Your punches, with this kind of weight, additional poundage, your punches are not sharp. You don't get the same type of leverage either. Double left hook by Frank Bruno. See much more of a lackadaisical Tim Witherspoon.
Yeah, he's a fighter who, like Frank Bruno, his best weapon is his right hand, and it has not been very impressive tonight. There was a good right hand by Witherspoon. And again. And there's a left hand by Witherspoon. And another right, and Bruno backs up, and for the first time, appears to have been hurt.
Well, Bruno now should not be here. He should not be there, rather. He's allowing Witherspoon to get off those big shots, those looping right hands, and those left hooks. This is what Witherspoon waited for the whole time, for Bruno to stand toe-to-toe with him.
Swelling under the left eye of Witherspoon, getting a little bit worse.
Bruno took those shots very well. He seemed to wobble a little, just a second. Needs to bring those hands up a little higher.
Bruno trying to work on that eye. It could become a problem for Witherspoon. Another good right hand by Tim Witherspoon.
Witherspoon landed some good right hands, although he's never shown knockout power. And Bruno, who's supposed to not have a very good chin, withstood the right hands. He came back looking a little worse for the wear at the end of that round, however.
Real good.
Let's take a look and see what Witherspoon did. There you see a right high on the head. Good punch. Working inside, head to head. Another good punch, but an arm punch. And that's principally why Witherspoon has never been a knockout puncher. He gets big sweeping punches like that. Arm punches. They hurt a man. They don't seem to daze him. Let's see how Bruno recovers from that round here. Could be a significant round here in the 8th, middle of the fight.
Right at the moment, it follows the pattern of a number of Tim Witherspoon's fights. That eye of Witherspoon is not cut, but he's got a mouse under it, and it got appreciably worse as the 7th round went on.
Witherspoon is applying a little more pressure now because he saw he was effective and staying on top of Bruno.
A good right hand by Bruno. Not as good as the crowd would seem to make you think, though. And that one was caught largely on the gloves.
Witherspoon trying to get close to his man. Trying to make Bruno exchange punch for punch.
Another good right hand by Witherspoon. Misses with a second, however.
As Bruno retreats, that's when he's hit.
That was a big right hand by Witherspoon there. Witherspoon seems to be able to score with one effective punch, but just has not been able to double up.
You'll notice, Barry, every time that Bruno throws those beautiful combinations, he backs away, and Witherspoon connects.
Still a long way to go here.
Witherspoon now southpaw, now turn back right hand. He's trying everything. Also running in.
Scored with a left hand.
He's run into some couple punches.
And a left hand by Witherspoon. A good shot. Counter-punching left hand. Does it seem, Ray, like a little of Bruno's sting is gone right now?
Yes, those shots were bodies. They're ripping those shots. And I tell you, Witherspoon is tired. He's dropping his hands. Bruno is exhausted. But these guys are showing a great deal of heart.
And again, it could become significant, the fact that Frank Bruno has never gone more than 10 rounds, and Witherspoon has virtually made a career out of fights that go the distance.
It's a grueling round, and I think you hit it right, Barry. a question of stamina, endurance will tell from here on. Whether Bruno's superior condition can overcome his experience. There you see our punch stat, number of punches thrown and landed. Going through 8 rounds.
Come on, Frank, now you've got to get it together. This is what the championship of the world's all about. This one's important, this round, Frank. This round's important. It's important. You've got to impose it. Just tap yourself, but stick the jab. If you throw, you...
This is becoming a fight now, Ray.
One thing about it, Bruno, I'm really impressed with him because he does not have the experience to go 15 rounds. Yet he's conditioned for 15 rounds. He came off his stool with so much enthusiasm. And Witherspoon knows that he's in for a tough fight here.
There's a good right-hand lead by Bruno that time. Both men working the body.
There's a lot to be said about Frank Bruno's chin, too. That was a big question mark, whether or not he could take the punching power of Witherspoon.
You know, the other thing that strikes me, Ray, and we mentioned it a little bit earlier during the entrances to the ring, and there was a good combination by Witherspoon, is that this crowd, which I really thought would be a factor in Bruno's corner, doesn't seem to be a factor at all in the fight. It's very quiet.
They just enjoying the fight, but I was expecting the crowd to go bananas for Frank Bruno.
Another good right hand by Tim Witherspoon.
That was a solid right hand by Witherspoon, and Bruno's still standing.
And a left hand behind it, and that backs up Frank Bruno. Now Bruno turns Witherspoon around, gets him on the ropes, and hammers to the body. I don't believe Witherspoon was hurt by any of that.
He was disturbed by something. He looked over at the referee for a second. This is when experience comes in. You notice that Witherspoon is tying this man up, then he comes back with his own combination.
Both men have shown a very good ability to come back after taking a good shot. Crowd reacting to Bruno's keeping Witherspoon pinned, but really it's Witherspoon who is dishing out the most punishment here. Witherspoon.
Witherspoon has been coming on. We said earlier that Bruno would be energized by this crowd. He'll need it for the remainder of this fight.
The other guy. Hey, Tim hit him with a nice one, too. Settle down and pump the jab.
Harold, how do you have it through 9 rounds?
Well, Larry, basically I agree with you. I think Timmy's come on to grab the last 4 rounds and to take the lead 5 rounds to 4. Timmy's landing the big punches, the big right hands. I thought Frank was doing his best when he was staying in the middle of the ring and using that crisp left jab. But now Timmy's getting inside, wearing him down with that big right hand.
You and I are still 1 round apart. I haven't scored the first round for Bruno against Witherspoon, so I have it 5-4 for Bruno.
This is the 10th round.
good stiff jab by Frank Bruno. He has to use that jab a lot more. He's making himself susceptible to take those shots by Witherspoon by staying inside. It's too long. If he decides to stay close, he needs to keep that chin tucked in. It's difficult to hit a man with those kind of shots thrown by Witherspoon when you're very close to him. It's when you move away, it's when he connects.
The fact is, Witherspoon has hit the heavier shots in the last 4 rounds, but has been unable to really double up with them. And Bruno does not seem to pack the power that he had in the early rounds.
I see a little bit more boxing from Frank Bruno. In fact, he's trying different things. Lead off right, keeping the jab in Witherspoon's face. Uppercut. And Witherspoon should not be blowing his nose, especially when there is a swelling over the eye. Because what happens, the eye swells up. Complaining to the referee for some of those rabbit punches thrown by Bruno.
And Witherspoon fighting back, but fighting back very wildly, very much out of control.
Witherspoon at times just comes in with his hands down. He's starting to rush himself now, Barry.
Ray, the Bruno jab, rather, when he uses it, seems to be pretty effective, at least in keeping Witherspoon off of him.
The jab is so stiff and so strong, that's what happened.
There's a quick right hand by Witherspoon, a left behind it.
There's basically no rhyme or reason to what's going on in here. Just two big guys slugging on each other. It's not a fight that'll go in a time capsule. It's just a big bruising fight.
It's there. It's only there. Come on. I'm going to show you that, Frank. Breathe. Breathe. Smart. Come on, please. Just smart. You want to stay there. Stick to your jab, right? Yeah. Beat into the jab, right? Don't let him beat you. You beat into the jab. Right? So click the right hand again. Right? Don't waste it. Stick to the chances and swings. Just watch him like he bowls and swimming. Just take up. Right? And whack that body.
Frank Bruno has gone farther than he's ever gone before. There's a big right hand behind 2 jabs by Witherspoon.
One thing I've noticed in Frank Bruno is that when he fought Bone Crusher Smith, he was hurt and never covered up. Just kept his hands down. Here, he covers up. He ties his man up. He's doing a very good job.
The swelling that was under the eye of Tim Witherspoon, no worse than it was 4 rounds ago. But Frank Bruno has a little bit of swelling around his eye also. more around his right eye. Again, it doesn't really appear to be any kind of a problem right now.
What can prove to be effective for Frank Bruno? You notice here, he throws combination. All he has to do, as he back away, all he has to do is keep his hands high. And he won't be hit by those shots.
Well, the tempo has slowed right now to a dance. Foxtrot. That was a good left hand, and Witherspoon for just a moment buckled.
It seems as though the face of Frank Bruno is swollen. The jaw. He's taking some tremendous shots.
Scored heavily. Witherspoon scored better, and Bruno is in a heap of trouble here. 10 seconds remaining, and Bruno is shook. And Bruno against the ropes in a corner is down. The bell saves Frank Bruno. For how long is the question?
It looks like they've thrown in the towel. The corner of Frank Bruno has thrown in the towel. I don't know if that's an official end to the fight or not, but they have thrown in the towel. And the fight appears to be over.
There is Frank's mother, and she is right now as confused as anyone else. Still pandemonium. The fight is most definitely over. It was after a big exchange by both men. Bruno scored also, but a counter-punching, I believe, was a right hand that started things for Tim Witherspoon.
Bruno has nothing to feel bad about. I think he showed a good account of himself and experience. And here we have a shot of that punch that did the damage. It was an overhand right that Witherspoon was able to land and put Bruno in a lot of trouble. Bruno here, still holding his own. Now he's bucked. Now he's seriously hurt. But he did the right thing, Barry. He tied his man up. He tried to clinch. Witherspoon, with his experience, knew exactly what to do. To keep punching, wait for another opportunity, and get Bruno out of there. At this point now, Bruno does not have the staying power nor the experience to deal with Tim Witherspoon.
And at that point, he was all but out. Time was ticking down at the end of the round, but here you can see he's out on his feet. Took quite a lot of punishment there.
Well, I think the referee should have been in there a lot sooner also.
And he stepped in there, but he didn't step in to stop the fight. He stepped in because the round had ended.
And here we have another shot. Overhand right. Bruno came back with the shot, but by then, he was already hurt. Those right hands
came behind a strong right hand by Frank Bruno. Bruno was the one that scored to start things. Witherspoon came back with a right hand, back with another one, had the left behind that, and by that time was all over.
It was a tougher fight for Tim Witherspoon. I think the weight was a factor. I'm curious to see what he has to say about it.